Welcome to the 294th episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on July 24th, 2022. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's a bundle of curiosity, Carlos Rodella.
I'm so curious. What's happening? What's happening now? What's happening over there? What happened in the past?
Lots of stuff that we will not get into today. But I was kind of playing on that because you were very curious about my take on Stray. And since it's a cat game, I was going to try to parlay that into a Curiosity Killed the Cat pun, but we ran out of time and I didn't make that connection. So in your head, please, dear listeners, and you, Carlos, please imagine that I came up with a really clever pun tying all those things together.
Got it. Okay. It's in my head now. I see it. I see how you
I'm on the verge. And like 20 minutes after we stop recording, I'll be like, oh, that was it. Too late. Okay.
Well, I am curious about what you're about to say about Stray, because we're going to both talk about it today again.
A
little more in detail this time. And I am curious as a cat.
All right. I was in the ballpark of that. Boy, I had like 3-4 different things and just none of it came together. I'm very disappointed about that. But what I'm not disappointed about is recording this show with you today, Carlos.
Wow. Well, thanks. I am also not disappointed. It'd be sad if we were.
I feel like that's one of the key elements of podcasting is not being disappointed when you have to do it. And I feel like so far we're checking that box. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's the bare minimum.
The bare minimum. All right, folks, we got a bunch of games to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to say. Let's get to it. As y'all know, Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. On my side, I've got a couple things, mostly related to San Diego Comic-Con. What's on your side there, Carlos?
I got a bunch. I almost can't get in the door right here. I'll start off with, as a reminder for everybody, I think we always talk about A24 films and how much we like them.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing a whole collection going to HBO in August.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a massive collection. So if you've missed some of their films and you have HBO Max, you can probably check them out. And there's a bunch that I haven't still seen, so I'm kind of excited about that. And they're also doing some sort of, this is a separate thing. Annapurna is doing a showcase this Thursday coming up at 12 Pacific time. So that's also another cool thing to check out. But
okay, right on. Plenty of time to catch that show.
There you go.
Right on.
Yep.
Excellent. What else you got?
The D&D movie trailer happened. Did you see it?
Yes, I just watched it yesterday. That kind of parlays into what I was going to talk about all the trailers from San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, let's hear your thoughts on the Dungeons and Dragons trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. I just feel like I wanted to hate it immediately, but it looked good. Like it looked, I don't know, like a good fantasy movie with some comedy. I'm not mad at it.
Why did you want to hate it?
Well, you're expecting it to be like, okay, Dungeons and Dragons, very on the nose. What are they going to do? And they did do a movie. Remember, was it in the 90s or something?
Yeah, it had like the Wayans brothers in it or something, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah.
Okay.
So, there's a track record. It's almost like a movie based on a video game, right? And this is based on a tabletop, obviously, and a game. But so, you don't know what's going to expect. But I was like, wow, feels like a Lord of the Rings kind of movie or something, and some comedy, and I like the cast. It looks good. Not till next year, but yeah.
Yeah. We watched a bunch of trailers from San Diego Comic-Con, and I gotta say I was hesitant because D&D is, I mean, it's got to be like one of the biggest licenses in the world, right? It's like an international. It's been going for like literal decades. I mean, everybody's heard of it. It caused satanic panic in the 80s. I mean, it's a thing, right? And it seems like there would be more based off of it, but that's been a really tough license to bring to film. This one, though, I'm glad that they're leaning into the comedy, right? Like I laughed several times during the trailer, and hopefully they didn't just show all the funny bits in the trailer and nothing left in the movie, because I feel like leaning into comedy is really the way to go. I feel like we have so much fantasy out there, and so much good fantasy to choose from. We don't really need one more competing for that same bucket. I would much rather them do the laughs and wink, wink, and nudge, nudge, and that to me, it looked like a really fun time. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think of like Guardians of the Galaxy where they do comedy with sci-fi.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm all in as well. Speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, let me hijack the bit here for a second. Tons of stuff. I don't usually pay a lot of attention to San Diego Comic-Con other than what like filters through my Twitter feed or whatever. But for whatever reason, I just was getting like inundated with like all the announcements and stuff. I mean, so first off, let me just lead with something near and dear to my heart and something that I know you always look forward to in every show. My update on He-Man and
Oh
Masters of
yeah.
the Universe. I know that you're waiting. Tons of mega announcements this year. Like if you're a He-Man fan, like I am, boy, if you had the patience to wait 40 years for this brand to come back around, you got well rewarded because He-Man is coming back strong. And yes, it has literally been 40 years since He-Man debuted, and I
Good
am still
golly.
alive, thank God,
Good golly.
to see this. Tons of new figures, lots of really cool figures that a lot of fans like myself have been waiting for. A lot of them based on the Kevin Smith Revelation series, which was not great, but they had a lot of cool character designs. Um, there's going to be a brand new Castle Grayskull based on the Netflix TV show, which is actually awesome. And the biggest announcement, I think, for any nerd like myself who loves He-Man is, I don't know if you probably don't remember this back in the day, but back in the day, near the end of the He-Man toy line, there was a place that released called, I think it was called Castle Eternia or just Eternia. And it was 3 large towers with a motorized tram that ran between the towers. And it had like this, it was the biggest set that was ever made for He-Man. It came, I mean, it must have been like $100 in the 80s, which at the time was like close to be like,
A
was
million
adjusted.
dollars.
Yeah, for adjusted inflation, $4.3 million,
Yeah.
right? So like nobody had it. And if you did have it, it had a bunch of tiny little bits. So like you bought it, you immediately lost all the parts, and like nobody had a working one because the tram would break. Nobody had a complete one because all the parts got lost. Nobody had it in the first place because it was so expensive. It's like the holy grail of He-Man collecting. I don't have one, and I never even tried because it's just like a boondoggle to even go after it. But they are actually reproducing that entire set. All the fans in He-Man land were like, heads were blown off. They're like, oh my god, it's the biggest, most expensive, most wonky thing, and they're actually redoing it. Cannot fucking believe
Wow.
it. So
Okay.
heads up. Definitely gonna go in on it this time. I don't have any place to put it, but I'll buy that motherfucker and I'll stick it in my garage or something just to have it. So anyway.
Wait. Quick tangent on toys. I had the Tower of Grayskull, right?
Castle Grayskull,
Castle
but this
Grayskull.
is the Eternia playset. Different.
Right. But I had the castle. I know I had that.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just kind of like one side of a mountain, like a piece of plastic.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
and then the other side, or you could open it up or something. I forgot.
Yep, the jawbridge opened up. Yep,
I also had the Hall of Justice.
Okay, cool. From Super Friends.
Yeah, and you could open that one up too, and then close it. But the biggest thing I remember, and this is dating me, but I had this huge, similar to the castle. I had like this mountain or like a blocky mountain range that were for your army men.
Oh, there were several different kinds of those. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
sure.
like pretty huge, and it was like you could put your little guys in like the lookouts and stuff.
Oh yeah, those are fun, dude.
Those are really fun. Yeah,
those are really good. We haven't had a good play set like that in a while, as I say, as a 46-year-old man here. So yeah, I'm very excited about Eternia. That's going to be awesome. I've never seen it in person. I've never even touched one. Never had a look at one. So it'll be cool to see what that's about. My only hesitation is that because it's such a huge, expensive premium item, I believe it's going to be exclusive to the Mattel website. And traditionally, they have handled exclusive sales like donkey shit. It's like you got to be online before it happens. They usually sell out in less than a minute, and it's just like a roll of the dice whether you get one or not. And afterwards, inevitably, there's like a million fans who are pissed off because they didn't get one. I think they like Mattel, if you're listening, and I know you are, please do something about this. Have it be up for 24 hours. Like do pre-orders, do something, because man, I can't go through that drama again. So
all right.
Let's see. So transitioning away from toys, let's talk about the other TV and movie things that caught my attention. Of course, Wakanda Forever, and you saw that trailer, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited for that. Although, I'm very curious as to see what they're gonna do about Black Panther. You know, as everyone knows, Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther, died from, I believe it was colon cancer. I think just died last year or something like that. Recently, anyway. And Marvel said that they were not going to replace him. They were going to like work that into the story somehow. So I'm very curious. The trailer definitely has like funereal vibes to it. I'm sure they're going to approach it somehow. So I hope they do it really well. Director Ryan Coogler, I'm sure, will handle it with aplomb. But I am surprised to see that the sister of Black Panther is actually a wackadoodle anti-vaxxer. And I think that Disney was talking about maybe not bringing her back for the film, but it does look like she's back. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. Any thoughts on Wakanda Forever? You a Black Panther fan?
I'm okay. It's not like my favorite thing in the world. I think it's cool, and I like what it did in general for like diversity and in superhero land. Like that's important as hell. But I think we might have even talked about the first film.
I'm sure we did.
and I had like problems with it, or whatever, just like on a film basis. So
Sure,
it's not
sure.
my favorite thing in the world. I saw it, checked it out, cool. Like you said, it's kind of somber, so
Yeah, I'm
not a feel
guessing.
good hit of the summer. I'm guessing, but we'll see.
We shall see. Lots of hints in that trailer, though. If you're a Marvel fan, they were dropping a lot of little nuggets for you to figure out where they're going. And I'm not going to say anything right now for the people who didn't watch it. But yeah, if you had your eyes open, tons of Easter eggs in that thing. Otherwise, as far as TV goes, they put out a trailer for She-Hulk, which is dropping, I believe, next month. TV series on Disney Plus. You'd have Disney Plus, do you, or don't you?
I used to, and now I don't. I'm just trying to cut down on everything, so I don't have it now. There's not enough on there anyhow because I blew through all the stuff I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I saw this teaser for She-Hulk a while ago. I gotta be honest, like in general, because you're about to talk about a lot of stuff from Comic-Con, which there's a lot of Marvel stuff and superhero stuff. I'm just like real cool down on superheroes in general.
Sure, sure.
Like totally tired of everything to do with it. And to kind of steal some of your fire, I know they did the 5-year plan or whatever it is.
Yeah. The phases and all that.
And they showed like a million movies coming out.
They did.
The only thing that was interesting to me on there was Loki, because I thought that's a really smart TV show. But yeah, a lot of the superhero-y stuff I really don't care about right now.
I mean, that's cool. And a lot of people are feeling the burnout too, right? I totally get that for sure. But
Yeah.
me, as someone who used to manage 2 comic shops and has a billion comic books and has been a comic book nerd for basically my entire life, I'm in hog heaven. I will
Yeah.
never get tired of Marvel stuff. I love it, and I'm just like, give it all to me, and I want even more. So I get people who are burned out, and that's totally fine. But as someone who, like growing up, there was never any good shit on TV. Like the movies were garbage. The TV shows. I think we got like the Hulk, which was kind of okay, and we got like a wonky Spider-Man that was,
Oh yeah, I watched
you
them
know,
all.
yeah. I mean, those were like, it was fine, I guess, but it was not what we wanted. And this, to me, feels like the culmination of like what we always thought it could be like in our fantasies, right? And now it's like on screen. So I'm Marvel to the end, dude. I will never get tired of this stuff. I want all the Marvel stuff. Anyway, She-Hulk, I gotta say the CG is looking like ass. I don't like the way that it's all CG. It looks kind of bad.
Yeah, it did.
Looks bad. And I just as a quick side note, I feel disappointed in the way that she looks, not just in the quality of CG, but in her overall design. I feel like she is too small, not muscular enough, not hulky enough. She's had different portrayals in the comics, and I always was a fan of like larger, stronger. She's a gamma radiation superhero. She doesn't need to be people's wank material. Like she can be like bigger and buffer. And I know that a lot of people are scared that fanboys aren't going to have their fantasies going on if she's too muscular, if she's too tall, if she's too strong. But it's like she fucking Hulk, so get the fuck over it. I heard that Disney scaled her design back quite a bit from her original muscular iteration, which is very disappointing to me. So not cool about that. But I will give it a shot. Hopefully it's good. I'll try to hold my nose a little bit for the CG. Hopefully it's not too bad. But the cool part, the extra cool part about this trailer was at the very end, they showed Daredevil coming back. And I am psyched as fuck for Daredevil come back. I loved the portrayal of Daredevil on Netflix with Charlie Cox. I'm glad they kept him too. Original guy. I don't know if they're going to bring back the other MCU people from Netflix. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I thought Charlie Cox did a great job. I loved his iteration of Daredevil. And even though he was kind of let down by the writing as that series went on, there was a lot of really strong content in Daredevil. I'm super, super psyched that he's coming back. He's going to be a fellow lawyer superhero just to go along with She-Hulk, who is also a lawyer. And then he's going to get his own series coming up soon, which I am just psyched as fuck about. So very happy for Charlie Cox. Very glad they didn't let that die on the vine over at Netflix. So I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, it was part of the 5-year plan. I saw it there pop up.
Yeah. I'm glad they circle back. So hopefully they'll do a good job on that. Wouldn't mind seeing the rest of the Netflix crew show up at some point. Although I know some people are mixed on that, but for me, give it to me. And I think that's all I was going to say. That's all I had on my side. I think my house is cleared out now.
Well, let me do one tangent on the comic stuff because just like you, I grew up with comics, and I remember because we're 100 years old. I watched Spider-Man's first incarnation was his Electric Company.
Oh God, I remember that back in the day. Dude. Those are rad as fuck.
Well, they weren't.
But back in then, when you're 7 years old, they are.
They were like, I was like, oh my goodness, live action Spider-Man. But you go back and watch, and they're like super 70s and very weird and not like cool.
Oh my God. Tangent on your tangent.
Yeah.
When you saw that Spider-Man do his webs and then somebody from off screen threw a fucking rope on somebody, That was the shit, dude. That was
Oh
like the
yeah.
most janky ass backward special effects, and I fucking love it.
But they also did. I think they did pretty good job of the comic book frames.
Oh yeah, that was very cool.
YouTube it, people listening.
Electric Company Spider-Man.
Yeah, you'll see these funny things. So and then I remember when Tim Burton's Batman came out. I feel like that's my changeover where I was like, oh, okay, we can have superhero movies and they can be cool and have big people like Jack Nicholson in them and stuff, and Michael Keaton. Anywho, the other thing I wanted to tangent on that is that I grew up with them and I loved comics and stuff. I would draw my own comics, and I just mentioned this on the interview I was on Two Geeks, which we can put a link in maybe, where I talk about this podcast as well. And I brought up the story I've forgotten about, but I would draw comics every day. And what I would do is, it's not tracing, but I would like look at comics, and I guess not everybody can do this, but I would like look at a frame of a comic and then just draw it into my comics.
Sure.
I think it's special talent. I don't know. I don't know if everybody can do it, but not tracing, just kind of look at it. And so I would like bring Spider-Man, I would bring Batman, I would bring all these people into my Sergeant Z comics.
Sergeant Z, that sounds pretty cool.
He's Sergeant Z. I could draw him anytime. And he had an enemy like the Joker. I think he was called the Comedian. Although there really is a comedian in the comic books. Maybe I didn't know. There is, yeah. Anyways, and so I had this whole thing where I would bring in superheroes from the comic books into my comics. I just remember that story.
That is fun.
That is fun stuff. It's Two Geeks Talking. We'll put a link in the show notes. And then I have one more piece of housekeeping, which is Xbox is getting Discord voice chat, which is interesting to some people, not Brad Galloway.
Why? Not interesting to me at all, but why would they do that? They already have like their whole party and chat system. What is the benefit of that? Just to incorporate, because everybody does Discord for everything, just to kind of get a little bit of that mojo?
I think it's because everybody's already using it, right? Like I'm using it with, my, what's it called? Oh, Midjourney. Which I'll tell you about this later at some point. Okay. But people look it up. It's Midjourney. It's AI assisted art, and I'm working with some creating art with AI. Anyways, that's done through Discord. Like Discord's where people are sitting at, like they're hanging out there, right?
Sure.
So I think they just knew that, and they're like, okay, we can have people like chat with their friends while they're playing Xbox. That said, Sony PlayStation did a deal with Discord like a while ago, like a year ago or so. So I think they're bringing it as well. So just a little, it is definitely a housekeeping kind of thing. I'm not sure if anybody cares, but that's happening.
Cool. I mean, I'm sure somebody cares. I couldn't care less, but I'm sure somebody out there is very excited about that news. I don't know who that is, but I know that Discord's a thing. I get people every goddamn fucking day in the email asking me to join their goddamn Discord, and I'm like, delete, motherfucker, also delete. But I know a lot of people love Discord, so if you love it, I mean, there you go. You got some hot scoops for Xbox.
It's got to be like the brand or the thing you like a lot enough to join the Discord. You know what I mean?
I got no time for it, dude. I just don't. But if you love it, go for it.
Yeah, it's about building communities too, right? Like if you have your friends there, then that's where you're going to go.
I have no time for friends, no time for community.
Although I know.
No time for that.
Okay, so that I think is it. I have a few more things, but I'll put them to next week, because we should talk about games.
All right, let's do that. Let's move on to the main portion of our show, the games chat. All right, Carlos, you're going to kick it off this week. Warhammer Chaosbane. I know that I dip into all the 40K stuff, and you brought this to the agenda just before we started recording, and I was like, what? I don't remember hearing about this one, but now I am looking at pictures online. I think I do remember dipping my toe in. But tell us all about Warhammer Chaosbane. Where are you playing it, and why did you pick it up?
Well, first off, like every story recently, I've got to start talking about Diablo Immortal first.
This is the Diablo Immortal cast.
Yes. I just finished that. I got to level cap, and I tweeted a picture of it. I'm level 60, and then you go to Paragon levels after that. I don't know if I'll do much more of it. I think I kind of wrapped my adventure. But like I said in my tweet, 2 months of Diablo 3 style fun for free. I'm not mad at it. You know,
I mean, that sounds like a good deal. 2 months of fun for free. What else? What can you complain about?
Yeah, and Diablo. You know, for everything we can say against the company, Diablo makes Diablo super fun.
Blizzard makes Diablo.
Blizzard. Yeah, Diablo makes itself. Diablo makes Diablo.
That needs to be on a shirt.
Yeah, Diablo makes Diablo. So, but Blizzard does a good job with that game, and 3 was one of my favorite things in the world, and 4 will probably be just as good. So Immortal, yeah, the engine itself is fun as shit to play it. Anyways, I bring that up because, one, I did get to level 60 with paying no money. Yes. But cool. 2, I just wanted more of it. And so I went to my PlayStation, where I still have that PlayStation service.
The new upgraded, what are you, like the mid tier, top tier? What do
I'm
you
all
got?
the tiers. I did a trial for like the first
For the
month.
top tier. Okay, you
Yeah,
got
for
everything
everything.
then.
So in that, there's tons of games you can stream or download. And so I just went through and was looking for something like Diablo because I wanted more of that. And I found Warhammer Chaosbane, which I missed totally. It came out in 2019, so a little while ago, and it's pretty much a straight up Diablo type game. Actually, a pretty cool story, and there's a couple cons, mostly pros. The graphics are okay, they're older kind of generation graphics, but so is Diablo Immortal, really. And it's just fun. You can pick between a bunch of different characters. Your characters have different backstories. So I think on the cover is like a what is it? Not druid.
It's like a dwarf or something,
Dwarf or
isn't it?
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
warrior. But you can be many different characters, and each person you pick has a different backstory. So it starts you out where you're going to be in the game. But yeah, it's like a straight up Diablo, right? You're running around doing your special moves, doing all your abilities that you map to different buttons. You heal yourself, etc. Diablo. So I think pros, it's just really fun and addictive. They're really, really smart about how they do the pacing with the story. It's just super addictive. You're just like, okay, I'll just do one more mission. And then the only con is, unlike Diablo, it is pretty tough to move. Like I don't think there's like a dodge button. I think, was it Path of Exile does the same thing that frustrates me, where like you just got to go to a spot and then attack, and then go to a spot, then attack.
Yes.
And then Diablo will get around that by like pitting moves that like move you. So like one of your skills.
That have motion incorporated into your skills, right?
Yeah,
like dodge or a sweep or something. Yeah.
Diablo Immortal, to go back to for a second, when I'm playing the Barbarian, there's a whirlwind thing where he spins, but as you're spinning, you can move him. And it's perfect because then you like get yourself in position where you want to be after you get out of the spin.
Gotcha.
Right? And in this game, so far, I haven't found that. Like, there's one move that you can jump across the screen, but then I go too far. You know what I mean? Then I'm like way on the other side of the screen. I missed everybody. So that's the only thing, is it's a lot of like move to spot and kill. So I wouldn't mind a dodge button. But other than that, man, what a fun find. I'm like, I wanted more Diablo, and Warhammer Chaosbane is it.
Right on. Excellent. I mean, it sounds fine. I usually go in on the 40K stuff and not for the regular Warhammer, which I think is why I kind of bounced off of this. But yeah, I'll definitely keep it in mind if the next time I need another Diablo, I will maybe perhaps queue this up.
Yeah, and anybody who likes listening and maybe doesn't want to try Diablo Immortal, or whatever's mad at it, here you go. There's a Diablo game right there.
Right on. Warhammer Chaosbane. There we go. Okay, let me talk for a couple minutes about a few different things here. First off, Strange Horticulture, which I am playing on the Switch. Got a code for this for the purpose of speaking about it on this show, which I'm doing right now in real time. This is an interesting one. I heard a lot about it on PC. It got a little bit of a buzz, and I think we reviewed it on Game Critics. I didn't review it, somebody else did. And I think it was pretty favorable. Basically, this is you play the owner of a plant shop. It's all kind of a menu-based interface where there's like, little people pictures, like little profiles. You're looking at a map of an area that you click on. You look at pictures of plants. There's books to read. So there's no open world. Like, you're not platforming. You're not searching anything. It's all just like menu-based. And apparently there's some kind of like Cthulhu elements to the story, which is one of the reasons I got into it. I always do any Lovecraft type game or anything like that. I'm always a big fan of that stuff. So basically the story, what I gleaned from it anyway, is that you get handed this plant shop. Somebody dies or something, they give it to you, and then you just immediately launch into taking requests from townsfolk about whatever they need. Like, somebody will show up and they'll be like, I need a sleep aid. I need a plant to help me sleep. And then you got to go through your plant book to read up about plants. And then after you find the plant that you need, you got to go to your plant shelf and you got to visually identify which one is which. So that's basically what you do. After you successfully complete a request, like somebody says, oh, I want a sleeping plant, you find the sleeping plant, you give it to them. They will either give you a new plant or they will give you a hint for your map. And then you go to the map screen, and if you have correctly interpreted the hint, you click on the right square. It's a grid-based map. And then you will get either a new plant or some other kind of like bonus or something like that. That's basically what the game is. It sounded pretty interesting when people told me about it. But now that I'm playing it on the Switch, I think it is interesting, but it's got like a lot of problems. First off, there's like fuck all tutorial, which, as you know me, like I need to have a good tutorial. I want a game to work me into it slowly. I want you to tell me what to do, invite me into your world, show me the ropes. I fucking hate just like struggling blindly, and I sure as shit don't want to go diving for an FAQ as soon as I start a game. So I feel like they really need to up their tutorial game. It's a pretty miserable lack of a tutorial. That was not great. For example, I couldn't even figure out what I was supposed to do in the beginning. Well, like what even step one was. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm looking at a bunch of menus and windows, and I'm not sure how to proceed. And then eventually, you notice there's a little bell, like you go to a hotel and you like ding for like the concierge to come out or something. Little bells.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you ding that, and then a customer comes up, and I'm like, oh, like that's weird. I'm telling customers to come in rather than customers just showing up. That threw me for a loop, right? Because like what game has you ding a bell and then you bring a customer in? That doesn't make it. It's like backwards.
It's like Bizarro Land.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. So then there was that. The text is really small, and to be fair, the game says this game has small text. Please push one of the shoulder buttons to zoom in. I mean, cool, but just make your fucking text bigger. Like there's got to be, this is another case of where I'm sure it was fine on a big PC monitor, but when you take all those elements at exactly the same proportion and exactly the same landscape and put them on the Switch screen, it doesn't quite work as well.
Yeah.
So I wish there was a bit more of adaptation there. And then it's just like a lot of just really janky stuff. Like, I mean, reading, and I thought I had the right flower, and I didn't have the right flower. And there's a function where if you identify the flower, you have to turn on the function for the flower to be identified. Otherwise, you have to type in the tag yourself, which was kind of a hassle. So I had to like turn that on, and it was just like zooming in and zooming out of the text, and then kind of figure. I mean, it was just like a lot of like, it just none of it flowed right. I felt like every step of it was kind of a struggle for me. Moving the cursor between menus, there's like a little drawer you got to open. It's got stuff inside. So you got to click on the drawer to open the drawer, and then there's like a book inside. You got to click on the book and then open that up, and then click to the right page. Like click, 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 click.
Ugh.
It's just like this. All of it was just like I like what it's doing. Like I like the idea. Owning a spooky plant shop and eventually getting to a Cthulhu story. It sounds very cool. I want to do that, but like just playing this on the Switch, it was just very slow, very like sludgy and miserable, and I just wish it had a better adaptation, like a true adaptation rather than just a straight up port off a PC. You know?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because so many of these games, what you're describing is interesting, especially the story part as it comes together, and it gets closer to that kind of cosmological horror, whatever. But
Exactly.
I can see me playing that with my mouse on on Steam,
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Switch doesn't feel like a good fit for it. I think it's the main thing.
Yeah, it's a shame too because I think it's cool, and if I was more of a PC player, I would have dumped the Switch version immediately and went to go play it on PC. But I'm not going to do that because I just don't play much on PC. But honestly, I get that it's expensive. I get that it takes time. I get that it's not easy. I'm not saying all you do is push a button and it's ported. But if you're gonna port it to the Switch, like just do a little more effort to make it more user friendly. Change the font size, change the window placement. I mean, I realize that in some instances that's probably just as much work as making an all new game. So I'm not saying it's simple, but for me, playing on the Switch, that's what I expect from a good Switch game. And so I noped out of this pretty quickly because it was just kind of just terrible to play.
All right.
But I love the idea. I love the idea of it. So strange horticulture. I kind of want to recommend it because I think it's interesting. But if you're gonna, definitely get it on PC. Do not bother with
Yeah,
the Switch
I
version.
was going to say
So
that. Hey, and a quick tangent on that, when the
yeah.
strange horror thing. Do you know about the new weird movement?
Yeah, you mentioned it last
Oh, did
episode. And
I?
yeah,
Okay.
you did.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Just to make sure I mentioned it to you, because it's like, that's Brad Galley all the way. New
Oh
weird.
yeah, dude, totally. I mean, I didn't know that it was called that until you mentioned it, but after you mentioned it, I looked it up, and yeah, that's all my shit, dude, like, for
Okay,
sure. So,
cool.
one more game really quickly, Escape Academy. I believe this is on Game Pass. I'm 99% sure it's on Game Pass. This is a cooperative puzzle solving escape room experience. Now, full disclosure, I didn't play this myself. We got an offer for a code, and I'm like, I'm never gonna play this. But I know my son loves these kind of games. He actually gets together with a couple of his buddies for regular game time, like twice a week. And so I'm like, oh, well, you've already got friends. You already got somebody who's going to play with you. I know your friend likes escape rooms too. Would you guys like to try this for me? And they're like, yeah, for sure. So they've been playing it. I've been watching them over their shoulder. And I think it's pretty cool. Basically, there's a storyline. There is a story, but I'm not going to spoil it. Starts off as you and a friend going to an escape room for an afternoon of fun and merriment. Things kind of take a turn, and then you go into like another larger escape room. You get another kind of revelation, and then the game kind of goes on from there. But basically, it's a series of escape rooms Carlos, have you ever done an escape room in real life?
I have. Yeah, it was a team building exercise.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah, that part of it was interesting. No, we had a okay time. I felt dumb. I felt real dumb most
Yeah,
of the time.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, my brain, you got to be like a very specific kind of person to really like click with an escape room. I fail at those pretty hard. I've done a couple when I've been like the dunce in the group every single time. So I feel you, bro. But my son and his friend really got into this. They loved the puzzles. They said the puzzles were all exactly the right difficulty for them. Not too hard, not too easy. They did a lot of teamwork together. There's a lot of cool elements. Like for example, in one room, like water started filling up the room, and that's never going to happen in a real escape room. And if it is, you're in some real danger and get the fuck out of there like
Yeah.
ASAP. But no, like like water's filling the room, and they're like rushing around trying to solve this puzzle, or they're like they're doing like word switches and they're checking the rooms. I mean, it just seemed like a really good time if you've got a good friend to do it. I don't think you could. I don't think you can even play it by yourself. I think you need to have two people required, which is fine because they say that up front. But it looked like a really fun time, and if you like escape rooms, it's really cool. Now, I will say there is one giant con to this game. Everything that I saw, graphics were cute, colorful. My son says he loves the puzzles. He had a good time with his friend, etc., etc. This was all good, and there's not really a ton of puzzle games like this on console. I mean, there's like the We Were series, I think, and there's this one. I think maybe that's it. There's more on PC, but regardless, the big con of Escape Academy is that it is always in split screen, even if your friend is online in his own house somewhere else.
Oh.
So
yeah.
my son started it up and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's split screen." My son is 13. He did not grow up in the N64 era. Split screen is not something that he's familiar with. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's split screen. We used to do this back in the day when we had friends over." And I'm like, "Well, just change the mode, put it on full screen." And he looked, he's like, "There isn't one." And I'm like, "What? How is there not a full screen?" Yep, he's correct. No full screen mode. So I immediately jumped online and I talked to the PR for the people who were making this game. And I'm like, "Hey, is there no full screen mode? Because we're not doing couch mode." And they're like, "Yeah, sorry, it's locked split screen all the time," which is dumb. It's so
Sure
fucking
is.
stupid. So fucking stupid. I don't know why they did that. And they said they're considering putting in a patch to let you do full screen. Yeah, I would strongly consider that, like ASA fucking P. It is dumb to do split screen because I don't see what the value of it is, and it's just really fucking obnoxious. I know that's what we enjoyed back in the day. Carlos, I'm sure you must have done a million like couch co-op, like Frag Fest split screen things back in the day. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was out of necessity though, because we had to. We were,
Exactly.
we were on the couch, literally on the couch co-op, and we had to use the same screen. Like we didn't have multiple screens. There was no online.
Yes, you liked it because that's what you had. Now that we don't have to do that anymore, I don't like it anymore. So
Yeah.
let's not do that anymore if we don't have to. So that is the one con. It's obnoxious to look at because you're constantly in split screen, and it's stupid, and I don't know why they did it. But if they patch that out, awesome. Then it would be just like full big time thumbs up. My son had a great time with it. He's still playing it. He's having lots of fun, and he definitely recommends it. But he just says, caveat split screen. So Escape Academy, it's on Xbox Game Pass, best place to pick games right now. Check it out, and if you like escape rooms, it seems like a pretty solid one.
I think I just saw it on PlayStation 2 though.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on both, and people are like, rave reviews for it actually. So
yeah, it seems really well done. Just that weird fucking jag about the split screen thing, but other than that, seems great. So check it out. All right, so we're gonna satisfy your curiosity, Carlos. Let's talk about Stray. Last week when we talked about it, we actually delayed the show so we could talk about it because we had an embargo going on. And along with that embargo were a lot of really strict rules about things that we could not talk about. Now that we're like at least a week plus out from the release of the game, I mean, all that stuff is over with. We can talk about whatever we want. I'm sure there's already a dozen complete playthroughs and spoilers all over the place. So let's so question to you: do you feel like you're going to need to spoil anything about Stray right now?
spoil anything? What do you mean?
Is there anything? I mean, I don't know. I didn't finish the game, so is there anything in here?
Oh,
if we're going to talk about it,
I want to keep one spoiler maybe at the end of the show. I can do.
Okay, I'll put a
that's
note
little
that we're going to
frustrating.
spoil at the end.
Yeah, but other than that, I just want to talk about it general a little bit more.
Okay,
with you.
just to let people know that we're not going to spoil anything right now.
Nope, we are not. Nope.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's revisit it. Let's circle back around. I played it some, and I know that you were a huge fan. You gave it like top marks last week. So let's talk a little bit now that we don't have as many restrictions on us, Carlos. Let's revisit Stray.
Yeah, so this is the cat game that everyone's talking about. I actually feel very much like Stray is an indie band that I knew about before it became popular. Like I don't know. I feel like we talked about in the show years ago. I want to say I don't know,
I feel
maybe
like it feels like years ago.
a while ago. It caught my eye immediately. I saw some random like small teaser thing. I was like, Brad, that's my game. I could
You
just
called?
tell.
No, you did. You called it. You did.
Yeah. And then when I played it, I got to very lucky, got to play, got a code and play it early. So before it even came out, finished it, And so for me and editors, like at other editors at different websites and stuff like that, have had this experience of like, oh, this is really cool, and this is mine for a little while. It's just ours. We're the only ones who got to play it early and experience it. So the minute it got released, and I saw all these really, really high reviews and people just loving it, it just felt good. It felt like everybody's found my indie band. And I was like, yeah, that's the band I've been talking about.
You were into Stray before it was cool.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. That's the title of this podcast. That's a pretty good title. Into Stray before it was cool.
All right, got it.
Or like I was into Stray before it was cool. So, yeah, I love this game. And last time I couldn't talk about B12 a lot, but B12 is the little robot that you befriend as the cat. Really does push the story along. I think it has some really cool, heartfelt moments with B12 that I won't spoil, but it's really cool near the end of the game. And the abilities you get from B12 are fun because you can do some combat, very light combat. You can do, just more puzzle solving and different things with the robot, and I think that's cool. Did you enjoy the robot part of it at least? Before I jump into some more stuff.
I mean, it was a thing. It was a thing that was there. It was
fine. My goodness! So just for our listeners, I was excited to talk about Stray a little bit more, and I texted Brad, and he's like, "I played it," and I go, "Huh." Anything else you want to add after the I played it? Just ... And I was like, that's wildly ambiguous. I don't know what you're saying. And he's like, we'll just talk about it in the show. I am very worried. Like, not only curious. You should have said, like, Carlos is worried. So yeah,
Carlos is concerned.
I know. I'm almost positively know that for some reason, and I have no concept how, you thought this game was either garbage or really didn't like it. And I'm so afraid that actually I can't even continue with this review until I know.
Oh, geez.
Tell me what you thought of fucking Stray now.
I just thought it was fine. It was like whatever. To be fair, I didn't finish it. I didn't even really get that far. It just didn't click with me, man. It just didn't click with me. I think the graphics are amazing. The graphics are wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think the design, the animation of the cats and stuff is all great. But I think so number one, I don't really care for cats that much to begin with. So it's not like I'm not in on the cat cuteness, right? So like that was a little hurdle they had to get over, where there had to be stuff to the game that wasn't just the cuteness of cats. And I feel like a lot of people who love this game love cats, which is totally fine. If you love cats, great, no problem. But for me, just watching a cat like curl up and sleep on a shelf or scratch a tree, I don't give a fuck about that. Like I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But it doesn't appeal to me either. As far as the gameplay goes, I just was like, it was none of the elements that I really enjoyed, right? It's stuff that I don't like in general. It's wandering around without a map, which I don't like in any game. It's finding clues and documents and keys, which I also don't enjoy in any game. There wasn't really any platforming, which is, I guess it's neither here nor there, but it's like, you look up, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but like when you were the cat, you look around the environment, and if there's a ledge or something you can jump onto, it just, you hit X and you jump onto it, which is fine, but there's no platforming skill involved. So there was no like excitement from will I make it, will I won't make it. I get that it's not that kind of game, which is okay. It's just, for me, it was like, okay, well, I'm just like searching around, trying to get to places and clicking X, and I'm looking for documents, and and part of me was like, why am I even doing this anyway? Like, I'm a cat. Like, they kind of like go in on having a realistic cat, which is fine, but then how am I talking to this robot? Why do I give a shit about documents? Why am I doing any of this? It's fine. It's fine. Like, it's just a kind of a game, whether it was a cat or not, I don't think I was going to be in for. And the cat cuteness didn't win me over. So I'm like, I put in like 2 hours. I'm like, okay, cool. I got it. I get what it's doing. And I'm like, I'm good. It's not garbage.
Right.
It's not garbage. I don't hate it or anything, but it just didn't click for me.
Okay, so first off, the cat cuteness thing is definitely not something that got me for this game. And I think that, I've heard a lot of reviews about the same thing. Even Skillup, which I like a lot, he said he hates cats. and despises them, but really, really enjoyed the game. So just putting an asterisk on there,
No, that's fair. That's fair.
you know, I don't. For me, it really wasn't about like, oh, it gets exciting to like curl up in that little alcove by the books. I did that once just to see what it looked like, but no, for me, it was about the environment, which you were right on the money. It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like a painterly thing in a way, but it's also realistic. And it also just talk about design. Like they built their own language and all these neon signs. It just felt small, but also huge in the fact of its detail.
Oh yeah, I mean, great work there for sure.
Like you go into a room and like even in just an apartment, you can get little stories by just seeing all these things that are going on, right? Even like one of the robots' bedroom was like well lit with like these red lights and had kind of a mood or vibe, going
Yeah,
in his
I mean,
bedroom.
this game is like environmental storytelling colon the game,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other part is because you didn't play it long enough, there is some really special moments that I won't spoil here about what you're doing there and like some of your questions you had. Not the questions about the cat because they're kind of just suspension of disbelief, right?
Yeah, just hand wave it away.
Like,
Sure.
okay,
Yeah.
cat understands enough what's going on. But by the way, as I'm playing it and I beat the game, the cat never is like, "Oh, I got it. Correct, sir. I'll do this now." Like, he's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
acknowledging everything.
No, he's
He's
just kind
just
of
more
walking
like
around.
going along with it, which I think is a good way to do it. It's like he's not reading things, he's not understanding things, but he's just kind of going along. And the
Exactly.
robot's really doing most of the heavy lifting. And then the other thing is that like that's the kind of game that we talk about this all the time. It's the kind of game you got to be in the mood for.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
For sure.
I 100% wanted that. I wanted to go into a place. The no map doesn't bother me too much because the environments are pretty small. Like, yeah, there's verticality to it, but especially going to different stages later on, which you didn't get to. Like one's a prison or one's a whatever, like
Sure.
sewers or
Sure.
something. There, you really don't need a map, and they do a really good job of like, okay, you probably can't get lost. But that's what I wanted. I just wanted like total escapism. Go in there. I really didn't care if I was cat or not. It's cool that he was. And the platforming, like you said, I normally would like the platforming where I could control the jump. I mean, I'm going to be a cat. I want to be able to jump around. But for some reason, I think because the way the animations are so good, and the cat will like look up to see if he can get to a ledge, which is very cat-like. They just kept it simple because it really wasn't a game about that.
Yeah, it's definitely not about that for sure.
Yeah,
I want to be clear that I'm not holding it against it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
I get what it's doing.
But it doesn't. If it's not your vibe for that moment, then that's definitely makes sense, And there were a couple of times I fell as a cat. I think it was supposed to, but yeah. In general, I just liked it more, obviously because of I was ready for this kind of mood. Also, the soundtrack is sick. Like it's really beautiful. I didn't mention it last time, but it changes again as you go further in the game. It changes so many different new songs. You can actually find songs for that little robot.
Oh, really?
Like
He's like a music
cassettes.
player too.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny.
He'll actually play them for you. A funny little quick side story. There's a great part where, again, suspension of disbelief that the cat could figure this out. But a couple of things where you knock things over and it's part of the story. But one of them is you want to steal something from a store, and so you put this cassette in the boombox in the back room, and it puts this really loud, annoying music on. And it never shuts off, by the way, for the rest of the game. It's always loud in there. So the guy who is like running the store has to go back there and he can't figure out how to turn it off. Anyways, I thought it was really funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I could tell. Kraus, that's hilarious. I'm glad you shared that with us. In general, I loved it. In general, you thought it was okay. I mean, you're wrong. It's fine. No, you're
I mean,
not.
it is fine. It is fine. It's just, it's exactly like you said. If you're in the mood for this, I
Mhm.
think it's a really good one of those that what it does, but like it's too many of the things that I just don't like in general, regardless of whether it was Stray or any other game. I mean, these are all things that I just don't enjoy. So I don't know that this game really ever had a chance with me to begin with, based on what its foundations were built on, which is fair. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just not my kind of game.
Yeah, and I accept that. I'm happy that it wasn't like this game is a hot pile of garbage on fire.
No, I don't think so. No.
And then, by the way, the critics, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm like looking at a list of them. It's ridiculous. So I'm just
I
happy
think
for
those are a
them.
little too generous, honestly, but people like it.
But I
Whatever.
called it a
think it's-
perfect game. It really,
You
to
did.
me, yeah.
You did. I mean, and
So-
if it's a perfect game for Carlos, I respect that.
Yeah, because I don't know I mean, that's 10 out of 10 for me. So I guess the last thing I'll say in closing is that the other reason I love it so much And we talk about this all the time on the show. Don't have much time in the world. This game, I took a while with it because I wanted to, but you can finish in 5 hours.
Which is reasonable, super reasonable.
Reasonable. And then the ending, which will spoil at the end, I think is a perfect ending. So like when I finish the game, I want more of those experiences. I was like, yes, this is a really cool world. I got to inhabit this world for a little while, understand some things, not understand everything, which is fun, right? Like mysteries are still at the end of it.
Sure. Ambiguous.
And, yeah, ambiguous. Back to that. And but it's just enough. And I was like, okay, and there's a fleeting ending, and I'm fine. So perfect game for me.
There you go. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know you really liked it a lot. And a lot of people are out there really liking it a lot, which is great. I don't mean to take away from anybody's enjoyment. Wasn't the game for me, not at this time, and that's totally fine. You know, it's not a commentary on the quality of the game. I think it is a well-made thing, and it does what it does well. It's just not for me.
So I knew that's what the comment was when we were texting. I was like, oh, man, he didn't like it as much.
Yeah,
it's a game.
It's a game that's out there, and you can play it. All right, let me talk about a couple games that I thought were fucking great. Let's get some juice in this podcast.
I didn't like them, by the way. I didn't like either.
I know you didn't like them.
I thought they were okay, and they were games. All right, you can play them,
but not for you.
But both of these are not for me.
I get it.
Go ahead.
I totally get it. First is Mothmen 1966. Playing this on the Xbox. This is like an 8-bit kind of like intentionally simplified graphics, a visual novel. Looks like something that you would have played, maybe like at the end stage of the NES or something like that. But in a good way, like intentionally, like I think they do a lot with the graphics. Basically, it's a visual novel that has some story choices in it. And then you also have some mini games to play. The premise is that you are 3 different characters. One is a guy who works at a gas station. And the other 2 are a man and a woman who are going out on a date to a remote spot in the woods to watch a meteor shower, like a little romantic date. And so that's the basic start of the story. As they get into the story, things definitely take a few turns. No surprise, since it's in the title, Mothmen do show up. The famous cryptids that people are probably familiar with from TV and movies, those guys show up. There's also a number of other elements, like more than you expect would pop up in this game, and it all gets tied together pretty well. I think the graphics are really, really well done. A lot of dark, a lot of kind of like we just were talking about with Stray, ambiguous, but not in story, but in visuals this time, but in a good way. You know, sometimes the scariest monsters are not the ones that you see in the light of day, but they're the ones where you just catch a glimpse in the shadows, or you think they're under your bed, and whatever you're cooking up in your mind is much scarier than what it would be when you actually see it like in full view. And they do a lot of that, which I think it really works in its favor.
Yeah, that's the Jaws effect, remember?
Is that what it's called, the Jaws effect?
Yeah, I think so. People are just hearing about this. The idea that you don't see Jaws for a while, it's just like the noise, the idea that he's down there,
Yeah, I mean, the suspense of the waiting for it to happen and stuff. Yeah, I think the developers are really smart. They lean into like you're in the shadows, you're in the woods, things are dark, it's nighttime, and rather than being the kind of dark that frustrates me, where I can't see what's going on, it's definitely like we are crafting in this in a specific way to give you a vibe, to give you a mood, and I think it was really well done. So the graphics I think are fantastic. I think the story is really well done. It's interesting. It's quick. It's very quick. I mean, the whole game is like maybe 2 hours long, probably even less than 90 minutes, maybe. Just gets in, tells you the story, gets out, which I thought was really great. There's all killer, no filler. Like there's nothing where you're just like killing time. And there's a few points when somebody has like a lot of information to give you, and you can simply say, I don't want to hear this, and just move on. Which is great. I love that option. I listened to all of it because I thought it was great. But if you want to skip it, I love that they give you that option. So I thought the story was really cool. I thought it ends in a very neat way, which I really liked. The choices were nice. There's a number of achievements you can get by taking different choices, like dying all the different ways you can die, or doing the hard choices in some of the things. And it's the kind of visual novel where there are things things to do other than read, which is my favorite. Like it's quick, it's brief, the choices are good, and then you have these little mini games. Like at one point you're manning a cannon, you're shooting guys. At one point you're solving a puzzle with numbers. I mean, you just do each puzzle one time and then you move on. You never do it again. And it's just enough to make you feel like you have a little break from the reading. It's perfectly paced. I love everything about Mothman 1966. And the cherry on this delicious sundae is there is a bonus game which is included in the story. It's part of the story. You can play it once and then you can move on if you want to. But after you beat the game, you can come back and just play this mode. It's called Impossible Solitaire.
Hmm.
I've never heard of this before. I'm guessing that maybe the developers created this themselves, but it is addicting as fuck, and you can play it in real life as well as you can play it in the game. Basically, it's a solitaire game, and I don't like solitaire. I don't give a fuck about solitaire. But this game, you like deal out these cards, and it's like half the deck, and you have to like basically kind of do your basic solitaire thing. But in addition to how the cards are set up on the board, every time you have to draw a card, you have to guess whether it's going to be red or black before you draw it, right? So if you guess right, you keep playing. If you guess wrong, you immediately lose the entire game. It's fucking stressful as hell.
Jeez.
It is the Dark Souls of solitaire.
Yeah, Soul Solitaire.
Soul Solitaire. It's really fun. It's really fun. My son watched me. He doesn't give a fuck about solitaire either. He watched me. He wanted to play it. He watched me playing it. I was saying fuck every 5 seconds because I kept losing. And then after we got done playing it in the game, we got out a deck of cards and we started playing it in real life. And it is a really fun game. It's super fun. Great party game. It's a ton of laughs. It's really stressful. It's just amazing. So that game all by itself, I think, is worthy of being a game. But that game is tucked into Mothman 1966, which itself is a great game. It's like a great game stuck inside a great game. It's like chocolate and peanut butter. So
it's so interesting. I'm glad you brought it to the show because I keep seeing it pop up in the new releases, and it's hard to tell what kind of game it is.
Yeah,
I just feel like because it's got the simplified graphics, but cool. All right.
Yeah, I dig it. It's a big time thumbs up. I think Mothman 1966 is fucking rad. I think it's really fun. So there's that, and also just a quick mention for Into the Breach. One of my favorite games of all time, and this is truly a perfect game from any perspective. One of the few flawless works of art that humanity has created.
Like Stray. Go ahead. Like Stray. Go ahead.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Sorta. Have you ever played Into the Breach, Carlos?
Yeah, we did. I'm very, very shortly, but I know it's one of your favorite experiences of all time. So.
Oh my god, I love it so much, and I think about it all the time. And it sucks because I played this game to the max. I beat it with every team of mechs. So for people who don't know, before I get too far into this, it's a kind of like an XCOM, sort of a top-down, turn-based tactics. You start with a team of 3 robots. Each robot has a different power, and there's many different teams of robots. Some of them are focused on direct damage. Some of them are like on dodging. Some of them are, on using smoke or something. There's a gimmick to every team. And basically, you fight on these small maps, and you fight these alien bugs. It's a great chess-like strategic experience. It's super well balanced. It's super well designed. I love it to pieces. Like, it's so amazing. And I played it, like I said, to the max. I got every achievement. I finished every goal. I beat it with every team. I mean, I did literally everything you could do. There was nothing left for me to do. I did everything. And so I would think about Into the Breach and be like, damn, I wish I could play that again. But, like one of those, like, oh, I wish I could forget it so I could play it again for the first time again.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hit myself in the head and give myself amnesia.
Well, that'd be silly, yeah.
I mean, fuck my whole life up. I'm going to do that. But they just released some DLC. It's a free update DLC for anybody who already owns the game, PC and all platforms. It's on Switch for sure, which is where I'm playing. It's great on Switch. I don't know where else it is. But it's great. They gave you 5 new robot teams, and they're all like radically different from stuff we had before. There's new achievements, new challenges. I mean, it's not like it is more of the same, but in this particular case, that's amazing because this game is amazing, and I want more of the same. I don't need them to like change it all up. I just needed more of it. And that's what they give you. It's great. It's free. It's wonderful. I'm playing it right now. I can't stop playing it. I stay up until like fucking 5 o'clock in the morning every day because I should be in bed sleeping, and I'm just playing more fucking Into the Breach. So it's great. It's out there. If you have it, please check your PC or your Switch or wherever. Update that shit. Get it for free. Start playing that game. If you haven't played it and you like tactics, you like XCOM, that kind of thing, it's like the best one of those that's ever been made. So check it out. For sure.
Check it out for sure. And also, to add to that, I saw randomly that Into the Breach is now available on Netflix.
Is it really? Is that one of their Netflix games?
Yeah. So what it means is it's kind of bullshit when they say a Netflix game, because if it was really available on Netflix, it should be like within the browser, and you just play it like on your computer or on your TV.
So it's not like that. So what do you do?
So you get it from Netflix, and then it goes to your iOS or Android phone. So it's like a mobile version. So I'm wondering, have you played the mobile version of this game?
No.
Okay.
I think the Switch screen is already a perfect size. I don't need it any smaller than that, and I wouldn't play it on my mobile. I don't think.
It's interesting though, but there's a bunch of articles about Netflix gaming, and Into the Breach is in that list of games.
Interesting. I have no interest in gaming with Netflix, but I think if they were going to do it, that's a really smart choice to make. I mean, I can imagine it working on a mobile platform, and it's like one of the best games out there. So of course, why would you not pick it? But yeah, no interest in doing that. But I love it on the Switch. I'm sure it's amazing on PC. This game is just fucking amazing in general, and I'm so happy that there's more to play because I legit sometimes just think, God, I wish I could play some more of that, and like there
Yeah.
just wasn't anymore for so long. So yeah, man, three cheers to Subset Games for dropping some DLC. Now I wonder what are they going to do next, right? Like I know they're busy. Did you ever play what's that one they did right before Into the Breach? The one about FTL. Did you ever play FTL?
Yeah. 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 Faster
They
than
ne-
light, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
never brought FTL to any other platform other than PC, which was a bummer because I always wanted to play it. I was hoping they were going to do port. I guess they're not going to do port. And now that they've got this DLC done, I want to know what are they doing next. I want more from these people because they are fucking brilliant. They are brilliant game designers.
Hit him up, dude. You love him so much. Just
I do,
send him
man.
a
I do.
message and say, hey, come on. I'm your biggest fan.
I am your biggest fan. All right, that's it. So Mothman 1966, big thumbs up. Into the Breach DLC, mega thumbs up. Back to you, Carlos, for Bright Memory Infinite.
Yeah, this is from FYQD Personal Studio, basically one dude, which is why it went to our radar, I think, a while ago in some sort of game show.
Yeah,
We were watching.
exactly. Like an Xbox showcase, I believe.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy made this game. His name's Zeng, by the way, Zeng, and it's like beautiful looking and crazy, and it's a first person shooter with melee, and it's crazy over the top stuff. And so, yeah, I was always interested. It came out a little while ago, I think, on Steam first. I finally got the code for Xbox or PlayStation. I can't remember. I think PlayStation.
Could be.
Yeah, and so this is like the final version, I guess, Bright Memory Infinite. And what is the game? It feels very much like Shadow Warrior, which I love.
First person.
First person, and Just Cause, because it's got some ridiculous stuff that happens. You're like, watch, I guess it's Shadow Warrior as well, right? Over the top action that could never possibly ever happen.
Sure.
And you play a woman who's like this, I don't know, military girl in some way. She's got like espionage skills. She's got ninja skills. She's got all the skills, right?
And many skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can actually do like different skins and different outfits, but I don't understand why in a first person game. So I don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, because there's cutscenes. So I guess you could see them in cutscenes. But
Okay.
in general, it's over the top fun, and it's a short experience. I'm almost at the end. It's only about 2 hours long. I think I'm at the one of the last stages, and I got stuck because the whole like difficult enemy thing. So that kind of frustrated me. And there is a story mode and a regular mode. You can't switch them, so I'm stuck in the regular mode, and I'm stuck on like a boss. So it's kind of annoying, but I will get past
Like
it.
in terms of difficulty, you mean? Like
Yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
like
switch
story,
on the
normal,
fly.
hard, or whatever. Yeah, and I put
Got it.
normal. I was doing really great, and near the end, I'm like getting stuck. But in general, it's super fun, incredible. That obviously just one guy. Playism is the publisher, so they're helping out a little bit. He's got a composer as well, but it's just super fun. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. A lot of different weapons, plenty of ammo, so you don't really run out too much. You can always do your sword for melee. So anytime you get in a pinch, you can do these special moves. There's a pretty big skill tree, so you can like really upgrade all your ninja moves and your guns. Yeah, I just remember as I was playing it, I was like, oh, this makes sense. This is where they're saving it. Oh, that makes sense. Here's my checkpoint. Here's my new gun. That makes sense. It's like he knew in this 2 hour window where to place all of the key moments. Do you know what I mean?
That's an important skill to have. Is like you get that little burst of whatever just when you need it. It keeps the game fresh as you're playing all the way through.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like this kind of similar to Stray and similar to short game experiences that I like. I'm like, oh yeah, all this makes sense. The first time it hasn't made sense is where I got stuck just now. But in general, it's like, oh, this is a little difficult. I got to get smarter. I got to upgrade. I got to do this thing. At some point, by the way, so to give you the idea of the over the topness, like you have a grapple hook that you just use at certain points. And you can like grapple onto an airplane that's like flying into a black hole because of reasons. And and you're on the wing of the airplane, and as soon as you get on there, of course, enemies come at you. So you're doing your regular combat, shooting a gun, everything, katana flying. And then when that plane's on fire and going down, you grapple to another plane. And then you also do combat on that plane.
Cool.
it's just super fun. There's like a crazy black hole in the sky. You're going towards the black hole. You don't need a lot of explanation. There's military they're fighting, but then all of a sudden it switches into like old school, like you're in the past. And
Okay.
then a little bit of like Shogun Warrior monsters kind of thing
Oh
pops
wow.
up. Yeah. So it flips back and forth between that, like present day and that, which is really fun. And again, everything is just presented well. The graphics are, pretty darn good. Rain, everything like that. I just love it. It's just
That
really
sounds like a
fun.
lot to pack into 2 hours. That's like
It's
you're naming like black
crazy.
holes and airplanes and grappling hooks and guns and big monsters, and I mean that's a lot for such a short running time. That's crazy.
And it's fast. So it's a fast game. So it goes by fast too. And I think maybe even like, yeah, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of happy, I was saying, that I'm stuck on the spot because I don't want it to be over. Like it really is kind of a fun time. But yeah, I'm going to finish it up. I'll beat this boss I'm stuck on. I really, really recommend it. It's like super fun. And again, I want these short experiences. So the minute I got in there, I was like, oh yeah, all this makes sense. Like the blade moves made sense. Everything just felt good.
Hmm.
One person essentially, crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Right on. Right on. That sounds like a fun time. Where are you said you're playing it on what? PlayStation?
I am playing a PlayStation. That's right. Yeah.
All right. I think it might be out on everything. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely out on console. Sounds like a fun time when you were in the mood for some wacky over the top stuff. That sounds like a real roller coaster there.
Check it
Check it
out.
out. All right, cool. Last game of the show before we talk about a stray spoiler at the very end. As Dusk Falls, this is a narrative game, kind of like a visual novel, basically, with some choices, similar to Mothman 1966, like we talked about earlier. This is on Game Pass for sure. That's where I'm playing it. Carlos, I believe you played it on Game Pass as well.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we saw the trailer for this one a while ago, and it was kind of hard to tell exactly what kind of game it was or what it even looked like. It's basically, I don't know exactly the technique they used for this, but it looks like they used real actors and then traced over the real actors to give it kind of like a painted, illustrated look. But these people, I mean, I'm sure it must have been real actors. I'm guessing they were probably filming this in a studio or something like that, and then kind of like gamed it up to make it look more like a regular game.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, it's just think Waking Life. If anybody's seen that movie,
yeah, yeah.
they filmed all that. So it's like they're just filming it and then they're like taking snapshots of it.
Right. Little bits and painting it over, making it look kind of abstracted a little bit. But it's good looking. It's a sharp looking game. This is a narrative game, like I said. Basically, it's a story of two different groups of people. One group of people is a husband and a wife and a daughter and the husband's father. Group of four people traveling cross country to start a new life in the Midwest. And the other group of people are three brothers who maybe have had a rough upbringing, maybe are making some bad choices. And these two groups of people meet inadvertently at a motel along the way, and things just like hardcore go south from there. I'm trying not to give too many spoilers because a lot of it is, a narrative game, story-based game. If I talk about too much of the story, you're gonna be spoiled and stuff you don't want to be spoiled about. But it's about the clash of these two people, and there's choices along the way. You can, think about whether there's a branching part to the script that you don't see till after you finish the first chapter. When you see the first chapter, it shows you all the different branches you can take. Do you help somebody? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Do you not help them? Do you choose one person over the other? Like all sorts of little, like Telltale Walking Dead style
Yeah.
choices. And then when you finish a chapter, there's multiple chapters. When you get to the end of a chapter, it'll go back and it'll show you all the different branches, and it'll also tell you what percentage of players chose which branch. So you can see, oh, did I choose the thing that most people chose, or did I choose the thing that less people chose? And on top of that, when you go back to watch those branches, you can actually choose any one of those nodes and say, oh, I want to replay the game from that particular branch and see what would have happened if you chose the other way. So that's a nice feature, a nice quality of life feature to do. But aside from all of the branching and the choices and stuff, just playing the game, I mean, it feels like you're basically kind of like watching a movie, advancing the text, and you make a choice, narrative action game. And I'm into it so far. I don't want to spoil any of the plot, but I will say that it's really well written. I feel like the performances are really good. The voices are really good. These feel like real actors to me. And it's tense. Like, it's so tense. I feel like the anxiety, for me as a player, as a person who's watching this happen, also as a parent, I could easily imagine myself in these situations. And I'm on the edge of my seat the entire time. I've had a really great time with it so far. Hoping to finish it today, because I'm guessing it's probably not that long. But so far, I think it's pretty killer, man. What did you think about it?
I get to pull a Brad Galloway with
Oh,
Stray.
is it fine? Is not for you?
I will say that this is a game, and it's definitely a game.
Oh man. Okay, let's get into it. Did not click, huh? Did not click.
I didn't even give you like the preview text. I could have done that and been like, "Hey, Brad, we're going to talk about As Dusk Falls, right? Yeah, that's a game." So, yeah, this is going to be exactly. I'm happy that this is in this podcast because
Okay, good. We're gonna balance it out.
it's the balancing out of the Stray. Yeah. So this is a game again, just similar to playing my own devil's advocate. If you have to be in the mood for this style of game, and I wasn't 100% in the mood for it, but in general, I think when we saw the trailer, it's a love or hate kind of like. I guess it's love or hate's too black and white, but like that style where they're not showing the full animation, even if it is
Yeah.
painterly looking and Waking Life. Like Waking Life was movement. It wasn't just still frames.
Yeah, this is like still frames.
And these are still frames. So I saw that in the trailer and I was like, I don't know. And so then when I finally played it, no, I don't like it. Like I don't like it a lot.
Okay.
Like I really don't like it. And also it's distracting because certain things are animated. So like a car will actually go down the street, or like something will happen that is kind of animated. And then I know they're doing that to make it like, add to the realism, which is cool, but to me it was like a wild distraction and I could never get on board. Secondly,
Okay, that's fair.
I also didn't like any of the characters.
Really?
Yeah, like not even one of them. Like
I find that very strange. Why so?
well, okay, so I don't know if it's not just acting, because there is part of that, like that you have to enjoy the actor's performance, but like the very first, the idea of that family or whatever with the dad, feels unbelievable. Like it feels like a sitcom or something. I don't know. It just feels like, and
What
the
part of
dad's
it-
there with the dog,
What part of that feels unbelievable? I mean, it's just a family traveling.
with the father, and I don't know. It just felt like everything felt not believable to me personally. Okay.
That is okay. I mean, that's weird. I thought it was totally normal, but okay. Go
It
ahead.
does, and yeah, and it feels like they're setting it up to be like it's supposed to be awkward all the time, and I didn't even like the way that dad was talking to the kid. I don't know, for some reason, I didn't like any of the interactions, and then the kids who are just like up to no good, and the one kid doesn't want to do all the stuff his terrible brothers are doing. Like I didn't want to play that part of the game. I didn't want to do any of the things that was being done. Like even though I had better choices, they were all like. It was all terrible. Like I didn't want to be in there. And
Sure.
then, without a spoiler, something happens in the very beginning of the game that is terrible. And you're like, yeah, see, I told you I didn't want to do any of this stuff.
Yep.
So I didn't like that storyline, and I didn't find the other one believable / interesting to me. And so both of those are the main storylines. And there might be a third one that I don't know about because I haven't finished it. But yeah, in general, that's the biggest part. And the fact that I didn't like the animation when I, thought that might be interesting. And then there's a lot of QuickTime events, which I'm never a fan of. Just like you said,
yeah.
when you go into an adventure game like Stray, you don't want to do some of the things they want you to do. I don't want to hit the A button until it fills a meter.
I went. You can go in the options. Just as an FYI, you can go in the options and turn all those off if you want. I turn
Can
them all
you?
off.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that helps. And then lastly, to just kind of topple one more piece of it, is that the replayability stuff, me, like everything
one time
is
through.
one time
One
through
time
and it's
through,
canon. So that didn't add anything for me because I didn't want to see what people were doing. I was just like, I want to see my storyline.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's great for a lot of people, but I just couldn't connect with it.
Man, that's very surprising. I thought you were going to be able to find some value in this. I mean, just to let you know, so I turned off all the QTEs. You can't like remove them, but what you can do is you can change them so that you have extra time, and then all you have to do is push one button. And so I turned that on instead of mashing buttons or anything. You just like the QTE comes up, you hit A, you move on. That's all it is, because those are not entertaining or fun to me. So I turned those on, and I appreciate that you get the choice to go back. But like you, I am with you in this respect where whatever I chose is what happened, and I'm not going to go back and replay it. I do the canon playthrough as well, so I haven't replayed anything, but I do think it's a pretty cool feature if you want to do that. But no, I'm sticking with whatever happened, and I'm close to the end, so I'm just going to roll with it for sure. But that's fine. That's really surprising. I felt like the writing was quite good. I felt like the family was like super normal and believable. I'm surprised that you didn't connect with them. But if you didn't, you didn't. If you didn't, you're not feeling the family. I mean, that's
Well,
totally cool. But
let me explain that, because I feel like in the very beginning, you have to like believe something with the characters, right? In any story, especially if you're going to be
Sure.
invested with them.
Sure.
And I just didn't see that couple together. Like it didn't feel like I didn't see the connection. Like they start by arguing. They have different styles. The guy who's has his dad with him, the dad's annoying. So like it just seems like a lot of annoying and trouble. And then she and the kid are like cool. Like I don't know, they seem like normal. They did seem more normal. But like that connection, I think I couldn't even understand. Like it just didn't feel like they were a happy couple.
Well, at that particular moment, they're not. I mean, I don't
Right.
know how far you got into it, but as you get further in the game is mostly in real time, moving the story forward. But there are a few flashbacks that kind of fill in the story, and one of those explains why the husband and wife are not really getting along at that point. It also explains, what's up with the three brothers who are like the guys who are making bad choices.
Yeah.
It talks about the father a little bit, so they do fill it in, and I think there's interestingly, there's ways you can steer it too. So like I appreciated that there was a way to affect um, how they were relating to each other in the present. So I thought that was pretty well done. I mean, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. But I felt like the brothers made perfect sense to me. I totally got where they were coming from. Not that I like them or that I support them, but I could get what they were. I could get what their thing was, and I predicted some of their twists way off because it was like, oh yeah, this is exactly my life. Like I totally recognize these guys as doing exact same shit that I've seen in my life. And
Hmm.
then and then the family. I mean, I was just like, yeah, I could feel the dad. I know what he's going through. I can totally like I went to the flashback and I'm like, oh man, like this is it just rings true to me. So I mean, if it didn't ring true to you, that's totally fine. Everybody can appreciate things for their own. But I felt like the writing was great. Performances were great. They sucked me in like immediately, and I feel like they're doing a really good job. And I did like the visuals as well. I thought it was really stylish and cool. So
Interesting.
I was down. Everything you didn't like, I did like, and I thought
Okay.
it was it's working for me.
And also, again, you have a family and you've been the parent, and so like that part of it is obviously part of it. And I don't understand that world. Like that world is so foreign to me. So like that's definitely part of it. But yeah, and definitely the style. Like I would have probably liked this a lot better if it was Waking Life, because again they filmed all that. So I know it was a conscious choice, artistic choice, but yeah, the missing frames bothered me. I don't know why. They really did.
All
Anyways,
right,
it's a game.
there we go. Split decision. Another split decision here on the So Video Games podcast.
Hmm.
And to be fair, some people say that's what they like about our podcast is that we don't always agree on everything.
Oh
And as
yeah.
clearly that is the case this episode. So
This could also be called the Split Decision Podcast because
the
that's a
split
pretty good
decision.
name too.
That's true. That is very true. All right, so that is going to do it as a show. Before we wrap, though, Carlos did have a stray spoiler. Do you want to do it after the closing so that people can bounce without being spoiled?
Oh, they know now. Just skip ahead. It's fine. We can do it now.
Do you think? Okay. So we're going to do a quick stray spoiler, and there's nothing even left of the show. I'm just going to do the wrap up and the closing. You probably skip past it anyway. I doubt anybody ever listens to it. So we're going to go ahead and do a spoiler warning for Stray. So if you don't want to hear it, stop listening now, catch you next week, or just jump ahead a couple minutes and we will do the closing of the show, although there will be nothing exciting there. So you might as well just bounce now. All right, Carlos, spoiler warning is in effect. Let's revisit Stray in a spoilery way. And yes, that did rhyme.
Right, and you're not going to finish it then, I guess, right? So
No,
I
I
can
don't
do
care.
this.
Good. I don't.
Yeah.
I care not at all.
By the way, it's very small too. It's a very small spoiler, but I think it's really important that you know, as well as some
Okay.
of the see if I can relate with some of the people who did finish it.
Okay.
But so B12 is not actually a robot. B12
Okay.
is one of the last humans.
Ah.
And so it's like a consciousness inside the robot.
Oh, it's not remote control. It's like a recorded
Yeah,
personality or
a
something.
personality. And like
Ah.
one of the last, if not maybe the last. And that's what's crazy and makes the whole game have more weight to it as you get further on, especially because you go to like a remote control center and you kind of see that this whole city's been like locked down because of like virus stuff and all that stuff. And so you actually like open up the doors and like let everything out, like you can like let the robots go out into the real world again. But the actual person, that guy dies essentially. He's like, he can't keep, like that robot thing can't keep going. So you're literally one of the last like living organisms as the cat. So that's heavy. And also the scene, you should see this scene. It's so beautiful of you actually seeing the whole city. Because in the control center, you can see the whole city that you've just been walking around.
Oh,
which
okay,
is pretty
cool.
epic, right? It's like, oh, there I went there, I went there, and you can kind of see it all as like the dome opens up and the sun comes on it. It's so cool.
Well, question for you then. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious from the get go. That's kind of like what you're kind of in for. I mean, I didn't know the specifics, but I think they do a pretty good job of like kind of setting up the world and stuff. And if anybody's played sci-fi games, you probably got an inkling about what's happening.
Hmm.
So if B12, your little buddy in your backpack, your cat backpack, is the only last I don't know, human recording or AI human or something, then what are all the robots? I just figured that was everybody doing like a near thing where their personalities were just encoded into robots. What are the robots? Are they just robots, or
No,
like
I
what's
think they're
their
just
deal?
robots. Yeah, everything made it sound like they were just part of the human's life, just like they will be soon in our real world.
Oh, so
Um,
they're not humans in robot bodies. They're just
no, they're
robots.
just, for my knowledge, they're just robots. Yeah. And
Gotcha.
they're just
Okay.
kind of just, mimicking all the things that humans did. So they're kind of like
Gotcha.
stuck in this loop and they're just doing it, but then they also can't leave. So, but the other part that I want to talk about really quickly is that was really cool and heavy and kind of powerful in a way. And then secondly is I told you I can't play this game anymore. And I alluded to that last episode because at the end it's over. And I wanted to keep playing as the cat and just
Yeah, you
go
mentioned that.
around.
Yeah.
So the last scene is so beautifully done. Part of what I said earlier, why I think it's a perfect game, is you finally get the main doors open and the cat walks up the steps. And instead of the camera following you like it normally does, it just is locked, that
Hmm.
kind of cinematic look. And you're still controlling the cat, even though it's like you can't follow it. And it's going all the way up the stairs and you can see the bright sunlight. And the cat looks back at you and then leaves. And it's so fucking cool. It's such a great ending, but then it's super sad because you can't control it anymore. It's over.
That reminds me of the ending of The Walking Dead. That is almost beat for beat
Oh,
the ending
really?
of The Walking Dead. Yeah,
Well, that's a
it's
good,
a good ending there too.
yeah. So, anyways, I love it. That's the thing I wanted to talk about. I just think that the last human person and then also the last kind of moments for the cat, it's super epic. So,
Wow. All right. Well, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And like I said, it not that it was a bad game. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't what I was in the mood for now. But it seems like it's really hitting the mark for a lot of people. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And it seems like definitely a quality product. It's certainly something for Sony to be proud of. That's for sure.
yep. All right,
All
that's
right.
it.
That is it, folks. That is the show. If you're still here, hey, you're still here. Right on. You're,
Oh,
I guess
well,
you're a super
no,
fan.
you're a super fan. You also get a special treat because I forgot something.
Oh, what's that?
I'm supposed to mention this last episode. I finally went to a Barnes and Nobles, which there's only a few left, and I got the most awesomest book ever. You know how they do a lot of those like big books now, like Future Magazine will do them. Like they're like these epic, like all the games for Super Nintendo, or all the PlayStation 1 games or something.
I did not know that, but I believe you.
They do them, and they're kind of more popular than magazines now, and they're like epic. Anyways, I got the best one ever, and I want to give it a shout out. It's called the RPG book.
Oh, okay.
From the makers of Retro Gamer, which you might have picked up a magazine of them
I'm sure I
someday.
must have. Yeah.
They're the bigger magazines, again, published by Future. This thing is fucking epic. It starts with like the very early MUDs. It goes through Ultima, like straight up Carlos's like heart. And it's just something you hold in your hands and you can like look through it. So please check it out if you can find a Barnes and Nobles, the RPG book by Future.
That sounds fucking amazing. All right, excellent. Well, there's actually one other little bonus for all our super fans who listened all the way to the end here that I was going to mention and I forgot. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I have a huge, really unhealthy collection of video game magazines since we're talking about magazines and books right now. Art books, strategy guides, and magazines. And I've held on to them all these years. I mean, I started collecting them as soon as they were available on shelves. I don't have a complete run of anything because I was a kid at the time. I would get one as I went to the grocery store with mom and dad, and they would buy me a game magazine, or if I had a couple bucks after school, I'd go to Barnes and Noble, like you said, and I'd pick up something or whatever. But I've got like tons. I mean, several hundred pounds of game magazines, if not 1,000 pounds. I mean,
Wow.
I've got too much. And originally, my plan for these was when I was younger, I was going to buy a house and then I was going to convert one of the rooms or maybe a basement or whatever space I had into like a game zone, right? Like I was going to get all my systems and hook them all up. I was going to get like my games on a shelf and like display those. And then I was going to have my game magazines up there so you could kind of like have a little archive of history.
Yeah.
That didn't pan out exactly. for one reason or another. I'm not going to get into that whole sad story here, but I still had all those magazines, right? They were in storage for a long time. I was bringing them around. We finally bought a new place here where I'm living now with my wife, and we've got our chickens and stuff. And now it's time to just put our roots down and settle in. And I've got all these magazines, dude, like way too many magazines. I've abandoned the game zone idea. I'm not going to do that anymore. Instead, I opted for Toy Temple, which is actually what I did. So we're doing that. But I still have all this game shit, and I'm like, I can't store it anymore. Like it's so much. It's taking up so much room. It's so heavy. I need to just get rid of it because I need room for other things, right? And so I'm like, well, it's like a ton of magazines, literal ton. I can't. I guess, would I take it to the dump? What do I do? I feel bad throwing it away.
Take it to the dump. Holy shit!
I'm like, what do I do with it? Because like I can't send it anywhere because it would cost $8 million to send it by mail. I don't have anybody nearby that would want to take it. I don't have any friends that would want to grab this. I mean, I doubt you have enough room in your place to take. You don't want this fucking magazine.
No,
anyway.
well, here I have a plan. So first off, I want some of them for sure.
Whoa, hold on. Let me get to the end of it.
Okay.
Hold on. So I'm like, look, I got to get rid of this shit. I need to offload it somewhere, and I feel like I can't throw it away because it's like historical. It's got some value. I'm sure somebody out here wants it. So I put out a tweet a couple weeks ago, and Frank Cifaldi from what is it? Video Game History. No, GameHistory.org. Famous Frank Cifaldi. He's anybody in games knows who he is. He reached out, and I was like, hey, I got all these magazines. Would you guys be interested? Because Game History. This is part of Game History. Would you guys want some? And he's like, yeah, man, we'll take it. So I'm working out a deal with Frank. Luckily, they have a presence here in Washington. They've got, I don't know, like an office or something that I can drop these off to. So I'm going to give them a good home. They're going to go to a place where people will appreciate them. Hopefully, it will contribute to the archive of knowledge at videogamehistory.org. And hopefully, people will get some use out of it. I'm really glad I found a place for it because otherwise, I don't know what I was going to do with it.
Well, I was going to mention that anyhow. So is it gamehistory.org?
It is
gamehistory.org,
yes.
Okay, so that's good because I think that's what I was going to mention because Kelsey, friend of the show.
Yeah, Kelsey is part of that organization.
Right? Yeah. So that's super good. That said, I need some of those magazines before you give them away. All right, we need to have a talk. And I'm not like this is not a jokey joke thing. Like, I definitely want to get some of those before they go there because I've been trying to find some, and I'm sure you have some of the ones I want to read. So,
well, send me a list or something. I'll take a quick look, dude. But it's like literally a room full of magazines, and I full disclosure, I'm not going to spend a whole time diving through those. But if I can find some for you, sure.
I'm not looking for specific ones. I'm just saying if it's like just the style of magazine, like it's a PC Gamer, is it Nintendo Power? Like what is it, right? And then if you have one of those style, then just give me a few of them. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, send me a list over. DM me. Tell me what you're looking for, and I'll see what I got. I got so many magazines, dude. Anyway, all right. That is our show. Finally. Thank you for listening to the end. That means you're one of the true believers. You're one of the super fans, and we're glad to have you. As always, we want your questions and your comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @sovideogames. You can also reach us individually. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
Why don't you go check out my YouTube channel? For some reason, that's blowing up right now. youtube.com/Carlos Rodella. Check that out.
All right, right on. As for me, same as always, on Twitter, on Instagram, it's BRADGALLAWAY, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 294. Thank you all again for joining us here on the Videogames podcast, and we will see you next week. But in the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
And bye from Carlos. Just that's it. I'm all out of work.